Hey guys, so guess what today is? Testimony Tuesday. Tuesdays are a day that I like to sit down and reflect on my life, and I encourage everyone else to use today or maybe just any day to just reflect on your life as well. Growing is a process. It doesn't come easy. There are a lot of tests and trials that you have to go through, but you want to make sure that every test that you go through, that you're passing the tests. Today is just a day to reflect and just to acknowledge the growth that God has allowed you to experience. So let's reflect. It was placed on my spirit today to talk about finances, because I know with the holiday season, Christmas and all of that, a lot of us begin to get stressed, a lot of us begin to worry, a lot of us begin to get out of character and just get in this stance of just, oh, I gotta hurry up and buy this, I gotta hurry up and get this, oh, I gotta sacrifice this, oh, I gotta work all these long hours. Just now, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not any of those labels. I'm just I don't know what I am when it comes to finance. I just know that I'm blessed with the knowledge that I have about money, because one thing that I do have to admit is God is able. God will provide. He will give you such a small little bit amount, and he will allow you to make it stretch. Now, I do want to say it does take self-control. It does take self-discipline. But God says if we are faithful over small things, he will make us ruler over many. Interpreted that scripture. It don't matter where you work, how much you make, how little you make, saving your money and doing the things that you need to do with your money is and should be a priority. Even if you make minimum wage, even if you make $12 an hour, even if you make, it doesn't matter how much you make, you're able to save money and you're able to cut back and do the things that you've always wanted to do with self-discipline. Now, I'm not going to say that I am qualified. Well, actually, I am qualified. Everybody's qualified to talk about their experiences. Everybody is qualified to talk about different strategies and habits that work for them, that are and will be and can be beneficial to somebody else. It was just placed on my heart to speak about how I used to irresponsibly be when it comes to money. Now, I'm not going to say that growing up I was taught about credit. I was talked about managing a checkbook or whatever it may be, or what have you, to make you confident in the amount of money you have. But one thing that I was always told is to make sure to pay your bills, whatever bills you have, and make sure that they are being paid on time, in a timely manner. So I kept that strategy all throughout my life, but at the same time, I still found myself giving into my desires on just eating out or just buying unnecessary things, and just doing a lot of stuff that caused me to have to spend money, which that money that was being spent could have been saved and put up for a rainy day. I just always knew back in my mind that it's important to make sure that I paid attention to what I'm signing my name up for on that dotted line, whether it being to get a loan, whether it being to get a car, whether it being, whatever it was. I just knew to make sure what I was getting myself into before I signed that paper. So with the awareness of me keeping track of what's being placed in my name, paying my bills on time, I've always had okay credit. Not even okay credit, I've always had good credit. Not to brag or to put down anyone who is having credit issues, but I've found out and realized that as long as you are keeping track of your bills, making sure that you are keeping up a great payment history, because payment history is factored in when it comes to your credit score, because if you pay your bills on time, or if you pay them in a timely manner, because not all the time we can pay our bills on time. I mean, life happens, but it's still up to you to make those phone calls like, hey, I need to put my loan on forbearance, or I need to pay my bill a month late, or whatever it may be, because that your payment history is factored in your score as well, and it makes other creditors see whether or not if you're trustworthy to pay whatever you signed your name up for. So I've always kept that in mind. But as I got older, having kids and everything, I've realized that keeping up a great credit is a must, and it is very necessary. But then behind credit, what about managing or having a budget? Having a budget is very, very, very important nowadays, because there's so many things that can deteriorate you away from your goal or the things that you want to achieve in life. So having a budget will help you manage and tackle life each day without having that worry in your mind or having that worry in your heart, like, oh, dang, rent's due, or I gotta pay this, but then I just now bought me them new J's, or I just now bought me whatever it is. So having a budget will allow you not to worry about those things. I know back then for me, it used to be to where I just could not balance life, working, saving, and just, all of those things when it comes to money, because I didn't have enough self-control over my actions. And of course, in this day and age, it's important to have self-control, because there are many distractions. There's many things available for us all to purchase and get hip to and accustomed to, whereas then rather than actually saving and preparing for yours and your children's future. So it's important to have self-control. It's important to make sure that you're not only helping out, providing for your family, and of course saving along the road. I personally go through a system. It's called the GPSP system. G stands for give, P stands for provide, S stands for save, and P stands for play. I didn't look this up. This is just something that I always go by. I want to take a lot of self-discipline and self-control, because the money that's left is all you will have until next payday. So with the G, which is give, same thing as tithing. You're 10% off of what you made during the week or 2 weeks of what you got paid with. Now, understand, not all the time we're able to pay 10% or whatever it may be. But just as long as you give, even if you have to pay somebody's bill, even if you have to buy somebody's food, even if, with tithing, of course, you're putting it in an envelope and giving it to the church to help the church with the bills and different ministries and all of that. Whatever you decide to give, whatever it is placed in your heart, you have to give something. Okay? So after you deduct that amount that you're going to give or tithe, then it comes to provide. Providing, of course, are your bills. Whatever bills that you have, go ahead and pay those. Pay what you can. If not, then divide them in half. I've learned after all these years, you have more money left over when you decide to pay half of your bills, or not even paying half of the bills, because a lot of times a lot of places charge you by the bank account. That's considered as an ACH withdrawal. So with the ACH, they're using your bank account information when it comes to paying the bills. So a lot of times that may take like 3-4 business days until you actually see that come out of your account. So I mean, you can choose to pay that half right then, but to me, what works better for me, I just go ahead and put that half of the bill away in another account. So after you've paid the bills or divided the bills in half, transfer the money or withdraw your money and put it up, because you got to make sure you don't touch that money at all, because it's going to be accounted for. The next is save. Now, depending on how many people is in your household, you divide whatever amount you have left from paying your bills, you divide that by how many people you have in your household. So if it's only you, I mean, you make the decision on how much you want to save. If there's 2 people, of course, divide that in half. If you got $200 left, you got to put up $100. Now, $100 is a lot. So, if you don't want to save $100 right then and there, I mean, at least start off with 30, or how much ever you decide to start off with. Just make sure that you divide it by how many people is in your household, because the amount that you decide to save, that's going to determine how much self-control you really do have, and how much money or how much help you really have in order to do whatever you want, because your bills is already paid. So if you don't need no new clothes, if you don't need anything, I mean, why not go ahead and save that $100 or save that $50 or save that full amount? But you should at least save $20, at least. Okay, and then after you save, then it's time to play. Play money, of course, is whatever's left. I mean, you've already paid your tithes, you've already provided, you paid your bills, you saved, you've put back for a rainy day, and then now, whatever's left, you get to play with. Now, play money can be a little confusing, because you also have to think, if you drive, gas, or oil change, whatever it may be with your car, that's also considered as a bill. But I actually deduct my gas money, anything that my car needs, I deduct that from my play money, because if you, depending on how your car takes on gas, I mean, heck, sometimes you might only need $20 to fill up your tank for a couple of days. Now, you do have to be cautious on where you go. You can't be driving all the way out, hours and hours away every day. Now, I mean, if it's work related, I mean, you have no other choice. So you want to make sure that you have that money available for gas, so that you're not dipping in your savings, too many times during the week. But whatever is left is the money that you have to do whatever you want with. Those were just things that I've learned growing up on how to just balance life, budget, and just not be out here, receiving a sum of money, a sum of hard-working money, and then watching it just gone out the window. I mean, money should be purposeful. I mean, of course, you work hard for your money, but you should also be saving. You should also be giving. And you, of course, have to pay what to do, your bills. So, that's what I personally do. That's what has helped me all these years. Now, mind you, I might not have as much money as I should because, life happens. Things happen. Things break down. Things got to get fixed. Things got to be consolidated or whatever it may be. But of course, you still want to make sure that you always find yourself back to square one. And square one is always, making sure that you give, make sure that you provide, make sure that you save in order for you to play. I just really hope that helps somebody. And I just challenge you to maybe you have your own methods. I personally use just a notebook. I have literally every time that I get paid, I make sure to account everything so that I know where everything is going. Because writing stuff down, especially writing money down, just so you can visually see where everything is being spent or where everything is being saved, that's a very valuable lesson, a very valuable tactic to keep and to do. I know that times get hard. I've been through situations where maybe I wasn't able to save as much, or maybe I wasn't able to save at all. You have to be comfortable with what you have first before you get more. Because if you don't make use of what you have now, then how is God going to be able to multiply? How is God going to give you more if you're not taking care of what you have now? There were times that, that's just like my new coat. Babe just got me a new coat, and the coat that I was using before, nobody knows, which it probably still ain't meant for everybody to know, but heck, I still rocked my Barney colored pea coat that I've been having for over 7 years. That was my high school coat, and I still wear it to this day. And when I, mind you, I got a new coat and I don't have to wear it anymore, but best believe, if I want to look a little shabby, I'm still going to throw it on, because, we all have to get used to being okay with what we have. We don't always have to have what everybody else has. Those times will come, as long as we are faithful over what we have now, so that when we do have more, we'll know exactly how to manage, how to deal with it, and how to take care of it. Okay. That's what today is.
What's today?
Testimony Tuesday, baby.
Mommy, after Wednesday, it's Thursday, and that's when we'll be on a field trip. But I ain't going. I'm going to stand for the Polar Express. And I go in my pajamas.
Okay, bub.